I think the term submissive or submission has been misunderstood for ages. And I really want to put that in perspective because it seemed like submission was according to what their understanding is, the society we live in, it goes one way. Absolutely false.
Right.
I'm gonna give you guys a definition that I put and I identify with this 1000%, right? So look up the word submission. Submission, the definition actually, the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or the will or authority of another person. So I don't know who came up with the concept that the guys want just the woman to submit, absent the understanding that we have to submit to you too. I have to submit to her the same way she submits to me. That's how this thing works.
You gotta get away from this alpha, man, be a man, okay? Alpha, be a woman. How about we get back to that? How about we shine that femininity, that womanhood, how the strength that comes with womanhood, the strength that it takes to support a man, because being a man ain't easy.
Well,
you know?
Honestly, Ken, so
I come from a troubled past, the mind of a double standard. I write with the other hand. You might misunderstand them. Just take a closer look. You can see the bread upon us. I make history for a living. Men of honor.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of The Potent Perspective. I am your host, Hash Potent, and joining me this afternoon is three lovely people that I would love to sit and have this conversation with. To my right is the one and only Mel's Dream, aka Melissa, aka Lissa.
Yes.
The legend, the myth, all that good
All
stuff.
of that good stuff.
Yeah. How you feel, Mel?
I feel good. How you feeling?
I'm great.
Good. You look great.
Thank you so much. I was gonna ask you what you ate today, but
Oh, what did I eat today? I had a hefty meal today. I got all 3 square meals in today. I had a good breakfast, a hefty lunch, and I had some baked jerk chicken today. Or this afternoon.
Yeah, you ate great. Jeez.
Yeah. Trying to get that protein in.
Yeah, I was fasting compared to that. That is a go. That's a go. To my left is my brother Ken Gamboa. Ken,
Yes, it is.
welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, Hash. Once again, we are thriving and prospering. So we're gonna get real heavy today, crowd. So, and you see, I got some drink with me.
And his shirt unbuttoned, guys.
Yeah,
so he's about to get real serious.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
yes,
my
indeed.
guy would have said,
little hair,
Yeah.
little chest hair.
Good to see you, brother.
It's good to see you, my brother. We are.
Last but not
least,
we would like to welcome a very special new guest in the house, and we are happy to have her here.
That's right.
Her name is Erica.
Very happy to be here,
Very
guys.
nice
Hey,
to
girl,
see you.
hey.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be in this space. I'm excited.
Yes.
Deep conversation is
That's
always welcome in my life.
Welcome.
So
Yes.
thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
It's a blessing to have her because I feel like tonight's topic is needed. That's why I wanted you here too. So I was like, it's no way we could complete this conversation without. And two of y'all is perfect. I'm telling you. Your perspective is gonna be well needed. So I'm happy to bring this topic. It's a part 2 to the first time we spoke about this, and it's with regards to the alpha woman. And basically, we trying to understand, is it a myth or is it a real thing, right? It's a question that a lot of people probably been faced with, especially the guys. A lot of guys trying to understand, what is it? To some guys, there's no such thing as an alpha woman. But to be fair, there are women that would advocate quite differently. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to, welcome the conversation to give, the women also an opportunity to kind of give their perspective and understanding on what this term means. Because out of ignorance, some of us we go against it, but a lot of times we didn't give them the chance to actually explain what it means, right? So in the first episode, I too was one of those people that was like, nah, this term doesn't exist. Because to me, my understanding of what alpha was was entirely different, right? But then I had to do some research myself, and I realized there is a community, even though it is not, the terminology they used was like, it's misconceived, or it's like it's a culturally created term. Be that as it may, there are women who identify with this term, right? So,
Right.
with respect, we still got to give them the opportunity to at least, explain what that means, because a lot of us have it confused, right? But to start this, the first thing I had to do was kind of look up the definition of the term alpha, right? And it gave like 4 different meanings. The first one being that alpha was the beginning of the first letter in the alphabet. Like that was a biblical background, right? The other meaning that I identify with before having this conversation was alpha being the dire wolf, which is the male wolf, right? Usually the wolf that goes out and he would set the hunts up for the pack.
Yeah.
He makes sure everybody eat.
He's
And
leading.
yeah, right.
Right.
And so he was the head figure in the pack, and he also protected the pack. It was a natural assignment for him, right? And that's when I first heard the term, I do understand it being, the first letter in the alphabet, but also the first time I heard it was really aligned with wolf, with the dire wolf. And I actually seen the dire wolf. He's huge. I don't think the female could stand next to him, to be honest with you. He's more, he demands a space. But also, outside of the wolf pack, there's also an alpha in the lion pack. And I want to say there's also an alpha in the silverback gorilla. Like they all assume the same position. Protect is all about the male. The male dominates, with regards to breeding, because the female is naturally attracted to the most, the strongest male, the one that is going to be the most aggressive. This is who she, submits to. So it's a long list of that, history that I got to see and witness, and I was like, it just makes sense, right? Now, when we transfer that into our culture as men and women, I've heard the term mainly amongst our culture, really. When I think about, I don't, do the white people the same,
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so they how you say, they identify with this type of terminology.
They most definitely do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie, most time I heard it was like from
Our
our culture. And honestly, if I'm being honest, the way it was brought across, it was like the chick that identifies as a boss bitch, she's the one who kind of flags this term. And honest, I ain't gonna lie, at first it bothered me, right? Because I'm like, this is weird, bro. But, after looking up what this term really means, I completely get it. Now, I feel like some of them do put a little extra on it, if I'm being honest. And it makes it unattractive, but I'm open to giving the women that understand the term to give their definition, right? So I have a clip that I wanted to play that kind of, it motivated this entire conversation. And I want to play it, but I want to get the women's perspective on it first. And, we can start, Erica, we can start with you if you want, you know what I'm saying, as to what do you define the term as, or what does the term mean to you in definition?
Leader comes to mind. Someone who possesses certain characteristics that allows other people to feel comfortable enough to follow, to trust. And this comes with a sense of confidence that comes within a woman, right? Like, usually the woman that stands out the most is a woman who understands her powers, her abilities. Not necessarily trying to flaunt it, just being who she is naturally. And I think that usually gives others confidence enough to identify, to relate, and to trust more than anything.
Okay.
Just to kind of be short with it, allow
Sure.
everyone else to.
Well, that was so subtle. It's hard to believe that was so subtle and well laid out. It's just hard to perceive what I heard. You know what I'm
She
saying?
made Alpha sound so gentle.
So it sounds amazing.
Because that's who we are.
But I mean,
we
it
are.
can
We
be.
are.
She did.
I
Exactly.
think the perception is that alpha has to be this dominant aura, and it's
Facts.
not necessarily a thing of dominance
Okay.
because some men are alpha men and they're not naturally aggressors, but they're still alpha in their own element. So I don't think it has to be this strong, overpowering thing that, like, you know,
Position.
society like perceives it as.
Perceives
It's more so like, no, like, and I take it back to just to piggy off what Erica said. If you think about even biblically, like the Proverbs 31 woman, she was a leader. People tended to her. She was kind. She carried the weight of the world while still showing up for herself and as herself. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's amazing. Ken, what say you about that? I know you coming from left field, but I gotta include you here, brother.
Yeah, you know, Ken is
As soon as I
against.
open my mouth, you know, y'all.
Yeah.
You know, I don't subscribe to alpha and beta, theta, you know. But you know, for the constraints of this conversation, I do believe that there's always that one individual within all social groups, you know, small groups, bigger groups, that just have this natural inclination to lead, to be at the forefront, to be the most influential. Doesn't necessarily mean, like Mel said, that they're the most aggressive and physically domineering and bullying their way into leadership, but they just have this knack to not avoid difficulty and obstacles and struggle, and just have this natural ability to handle problems that come their way, not for themselves just solely, but for the group, for their environment, for their family. And that in turn puts them or elevates them into a position of alpha, in my opinion. And that's not just with tackling things, but that could be more inclined to speaking their mind more, you know, not being afraid to hold their tongue, but also knowing to do it eloquently and in a politically understandable way. Definitely with decency and respect, of course.
I'm not gonna lie. It was not until today where I actually looked up the term. So I had to look up what is the meaning of the term alpha, right? Then I had to look up when was it originated. Then I had to look up, is there such thing as an alpha woman? And the results was pretty precise. And I could relate to this now that I got the understanding, because I must say before I looked it up, I was really ignorant. If I'm being honest, but I still didn't attack the title or the women that identify with it. I like to be objective, but I like to be optimistic as well. So because I can't point fingers at you and I don't understand what the actual for, you know what I mean? So that would be even more ignorant. So I try not to be that way, right? But I mean, after looking up the term, it was amazing, because what it's saying is, you know, yes, conceptually, but it's more of a cultural stereotype. You know what I'm saying? A social construct than a precise scientific category. I understand that completely, right? So it was created by a group of people who, you know, identify. Am I saying that correctly?
So from what I understand, I think there were some tests done back in the mid to late 70s, I believe. I may be wrong. And they did it on wolves. And so they found out that there's, in the wolves, in their hierarchy, there's always that one strong wolf. And so somewhere along the way, they took that and they put it onto humans with no actual evidence or research that, you know, in humans, there's that type of hierarchy too. And I think that also it really took off in the last few years, because you do have a lot of young men that probably are very lost, don't have a good role model in their life, didn't have a father, or maybe did have a father, but their father wasn't really a masculine, secure, level-headed individual that knew how to not only be a provider, but also be a teacher. And so a lot of them have low self-esteem. And so when you got these loud people on the internet that come out all strong muscles, you're alpha, we strong, we take what we want, we get all the women, we swimming in coochie, and all of that. That's really appealing, especially when you don't feel like you're being seen or you feel small in a world, that it really took off. And then, of course, you have certain women that
Here we go. Don't sound so
bring that. I know we're gonna get there, but bring a certain toxicity with that
towards the term.
Yeah, towards the term, and then but just to piggyback off, it all came from a study on wolves, basically.
So I kind of like I understood what Mel was saying, when she said, alpha doesn't necessarily mean somebody that's always aggressive, right? So that's a key thing for me, because when I heard the term alpha woman, it came from a very tough kind of chick. She embodied, boss bitch type of title and was proud about it, like for real. So it could be either. Now, one thing I want to be objective about is the fact that the alpha male that you spoke of just now, that they did the test on, was that alpha a male or a female wolf?
It was a male wolf.
That's what I'm saying. So this is what comes to mind. Not to be sexist, but this is what comes to mind. So, if to correlate it to attributes of a woman that I would be attracted to, I wouldn't want my chick to be too aggressive. Like I'm still attracted to lady, right? To my defense, but it's not saying I don't respect you if you're assertive, you know what you want, you're solid, you're vocal. I wouldn't challenge that. I just hope that doesn't go over to the point where it's pushing me out of my position. If that makes sense.
Because you have to let a man be a man in a certain, and I think sometimes people feel like you forget that two things can be true. Like you can be this alpha woman or whatever the case may be, but a man still needs room to live in his manhood and be that for you. And I think sometimes, especially nowadays, like everything, women, it is like a push narrative to be dominant, hyper independent. And like, as somebody who is reversing their hyper independence, it's like, no, it's okay to be soft, be feminine, like bask in your womanhood.
And that's a big thing for me, because I feel like the thing about it is, in our defense, I think why it rubs nerves with men sometimes, because deep inside, that's our position. Like, it's our job to protect and cover and kind of lead, right? So it seems like anything that kind of rubs against that is like, you know what I mean?
Problematic.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I personally think that a woman can be an alpha woman within her feminine space.
Feminism, exactly the point I was about to make.
Literally.
She can lead other women. Like, she can help other women understand, what it is to thrive in their femininity, how to understand it, how to, make the best out of it. And she's a leader of that pack there, but when it comes to that man, that's a whole different lane that I'm gonna stay out of. I'm, if we got a car with 4 wheels, you the front wheels, I'm the back wheels, and we're all aligned to go to the same destination. Safe sound.
I was gonna. Sorry.
No, go ahead,
I was definitely gonna say that. I'm happy you pointed that out. Like, there's 2 different spaces, the feminine and the masculine.
Absolutely.
And I think that dictation, or when you write about what alpha is, it's usually written by a man.
Right.
So most of our language and how we dictate these certain things or see it's been already described or defined in a manly way, and we're usually left out. So if you were to just take the camera lens and focus on the man and highlight him leading the group, take the lens over here, and this woman that is also probably paired up, because that's a whole nother conversation on how two minds connect on the levels.
Yeah.
But she's doing just as much teaching, nurturing, showing, like a whole lot comes along with being a woman and leading in that space. So, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I think it's beautiful because I think that's why this headbutting began because it's really a lack of understanding of what the term really means.
And I think people want to be right. I think that is also like a big issue, is like it has to be right or wrong, and in reality it doesn't have to be either or. Like,
it's true.
You can agree to disagree, and two things can be true.
It's true.
And
that got some biblical history to it, because it's what makes us beautiful individually, because your opinion could be just as valid as mine or hers, and we all can actually be right in our own way. It's a scripture that aligned to that, man. It pertaining to the statement of, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, or as a man,
That's correct.
If you believe this thing is wrong, then it's wrong under the sun. It's a weird thing, but I understand that. So I think because of that, the lack of the understanding of that term, we kind of butt heads. And then you got ego and testosterone and estrogen, what I mean?
Both lanes that bleed into each other. Somebody is trying to outdo the other person. Now, when we talk about those women that are a little bit more toxic and they aren't in their feminine, I personally genuinely believe that there is some type of trauma and resentment there. They feel that they got to compete with the man. They want to be the man. They want to feel like they're better than the man. And then it becomes this loud, brash, kind of like I talked about before, the jock who's, I get all the coochie in the world and I'm going to push my way to the top and I'm going to step on people and because I'm the strongest. That's literally the same mentality, but through a woman. She's just emulating that hyper toxic masculine and dressing it up with a label that says alpha woman and presenting it to the world and saying, hey, to be more, to be strong, to be somebody in the world, this is how you gotta come in and treat everybody. That's a recipe for disaster, because you're treating femininity like it's too delicate and it's a weakness within its own space. So you gotta adopt the masculine, and that's sad in my opinion.
I'm thinking just with the way Erica and Melissa explained it, it gives me an entirely different perspective. It's either that or they both embody, real women, or the type of women that we would be attracted to. And so we would want to think we could see that in other women. But because some of it comes across like it was something personal that happened. And, I don't know. I would love to play this clip in this episode. I don't know if it's okay. Should we play it?
Let's play it.
Let's play it. Is it okay, Erica?
Yeah, let's play
it. Cool. Because I'm we could get into the whole other side and just be deep in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. Hold on a second. All right. So this is a clip. I'm just gonna play a clip really quick. And when I heard this clip, I was like, it gave me some chills, bro. Because I was like, I had to check her out. Now, to me, it's just, I'm gonna give my perspective of what I thought when I seen the video, right? Okay. But I'm gonna just let this play really quick so we could share it with the audience, and you can kind of see where I got this, perception from. This is actually, she's actually the face of what I looked at or what I heard when I heard alpha male. Yeah, she was literally, and to me, she's not as feminine. She's more a little bit more tough. Right. She damn near hood on the cool. You know what I mean? But I still got to give her a chance to speak her piece. You know what I mean? So hold on.
Yes. Every time I get on social media, I just couldn't wait to speak on this. Every time I get on social media, it's always a man making a video, podcast, or a post about how a woman should be. Y'all supposed to be soft. Y'all supposed to be like this. Or y'all don't submit. Men only like this. Men only go for like, let me tell y'all something. As a man, you're a natural hunter. So you hunt after your acquired taste in a woman. Which means if you like McDonald's, why the fuck are you at Chick-fil-A? You cannot speak on a woman with feminine masculinity traits or aggressive traits or a strong demeanor. Because as a man and a hunter, you go after what you desire. And some of y'all try to get with us to see if you can humble us, and y'all may get the upper hand sometimes. But being a woman with strong traits, we always shake that, which means we're like a black little spider. We will chew you up and spit your weak ass the fuck out. And see, real alpha males, they don't speak on a woman's strength. They go after the woman that they desire. Some of y'all play on our background because y'all really interested. But then when y'all realize that y'all couldn't sit next to us or stand toe to toe with us, y'all bitch off. And then speak on us because you're really intimidated and you just don't want to say it. But every time you get on social media and you let your bitch ass voice be heard trying to demean us or make us feel like we're less than, you letting the weak bitch in you show. So, you go after your princess, baby. Because see, as a woman with feminine masculinity, we're only soft to our man or the man that we desire. So that means if you get big bruh, we don't want you. And which means that we smell the weak ass nigga in you. Only a stand up ass man can make us feel soft. And he never speaks on our strength. It actually turns him the fuck on. So, stay in your lane and play on your playground. Because over here's for the big dogs. Okay? We submit to our men, not to no bitch ass nigga. And to be honest with you, it's really the oh y'all don't submit comment for me. We only submit to our men. So if we don't have no, first of all, who the fuck said we wanted to submit to? You have to be a man worth submitting to. But every time y'all get y'all bitch ass on social media and y'all try to speak on what type of woman that we should be, the same time that you taking out to do that, you could be using that same time to go find your girl. Just like Jill Scott said, if you could tell me what to do, then you could tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you damn sure can't tell me what to do. Y'all really need to be cool. Because I can never understand for the life of me how a grown ass man can tell a woman how to be when he got a dick. You letting the pumpkin you show, baby. Stop trying to prove that, oh, we smarter than y'all, we stronger than y'all, I can humble her, I can go play on your playground. And leave the men that want this shit, leave it to them. I can never understand that. Y'all be thinking that y'all can fuck with it, but then y'all like to walk and say, man, let me be cool. But see, the pride in you don't want to speak on the truth about why you can't sit next to no woman with strong masculinity. Y'all be so afraid for a woman to be smarter than y'all. Y'all can't stand for us to know a little bit more than y'all. Y'all do realize we have a little wisdom. It's okay for us to have something that y'all don't. That's why it's called balance. And as a grown ass man, if you are intimidated by me, you have no fucking business talking to me. We smell the weak bitch in you. Go play with that bitch over there that bake muffins. Cause see over here, we cook dope like in the 80s and we still wear our skirt. Fuck on with this shit.
Now, I'm not gonna lie.
Drops mic.
That was a straight shot to the head, like whatever. Now, I'm not gonna lie, to me, and I'm just gonna give my perspective. I couldn't be no type of bitch ass niggas at all. When I tell you, I've never had the term called to me by no female that is. You know, I don't know. My journey with that term that's fighting words, like, especially, you know what I mean? Like, and then she said it with impunity. Like, she was like
belittling.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm okay with you having your perspective as a female, right? And I'm not bothered by it. But for the men that have a sense of integrity, that you know, we take this position as a man serious. We love on our women. We do not abuse them. I feel like she's talking to a specific kind of guy,
right?
That don't even embody the trait of anything alpha. Right. It almost sounds personal.
Yeah.
You know, it sounded like maybe a dude had curbed her or he disrespected her, and she felt like she needed to shoot low, which is it's fine, right?
Right.
But if you trying to, you know, all this cooked dope and shit, like, nobody is white for you.
And you got to remember, she comes from we all come from different cultures, right?
True, understood.
She straight from the hood.
She from the hood. You
like, she's shooting straight from the hip. And that's the way they communicate one another. Right. And if she want that kind of nigga, like, they talk like that. You know what I mean? Right. I think that she touched on a lot of words that are very sensitive to all men.
Very true.
And I think you got sick and personal. And I'm only saying that because I don't think she was calling out all men.
No, I get it.
I think, and then that also, there's a lot of things I don't agree with her, but I also wanted to say, like, as she was saying it, I also felt like, ooh, every time she said certain things, y'all was just like cringe. Like, yo, who the fuck you calling weak? Like, we know who y'all are. We sense the strong leaders. We sense the alphas. I think that us as women, we have to be supportive of our men, and we have to talk to them with love, care, and support.
For sure.
I think that maybe in that language, there was some maybe directed towards the men who she feel are leaders. But that was a lot to unpack. And a lot of it was personal. I felt
That's
it.
what I'm saying. That's what Melissa was saying.
No, I definitely agree. You know what they say, right message, wrong messenger? That type of vibe is what I get from her. You know, like, she does make some valid statements, but one, the delivery is poor, and two, it is what we were addressing, the dominance, the over-aggression. However, I do feel like there is this, like, back and forth when it comes to submissiveness and how women submit. Like, to point out, like, her statement about, like, you know, men being intimidated by you, like, that is a thing. Like, I've been in past relationships where being on top of my game and the person I was with at the time is not on top of their game, it causes friction because you feel less than a man, even without, because I'm not the individual to, like, press, you know, put it in your face. But some men, like she said, do naturally get intimidated by that. However, on the flip side, it's like kind of what Erica said, I think it's about finding your man and your woman, because there are men that do like over aggressive women. They down for somebody to be the head honcho, to be the dominator, to call the shots, to carry the 9-piece on her hip. But then there's some men that's like, no, like, I want a woman who that can be tender to me, who can be soft, who can be nurturing, and all those things. Not saying that she can't be, but it's probably projected differently. And what people don't even understand, like, I think the debate of this whole submissiveness is, naturally, if you're dating with a person that is a leader, you're going to naturally submit without even saying you're submitting. Like, the energy that you guys interact with will allow you to feel safe. Because I feel like submission is about safety. Right. You submit when you feel safe with that individual. So, yeah, she was a little spicy, but.
Can you want to put your input, brother? I know you guys.
He ready. You can see it. He's like, let me let all them go.
The smoke just cleared out of Ken's ears.
I can see it sizzling off his face.
So I'm just going to begin by, that lady disgusted me, like, really disgusted the shit out of me. First of all, you go on the internet and just start blasting men, okay, and start using the one-on-one, like classic one-on-one tactics, shaming language, just belittling men, saying, you're intimidated. First of all, just because you don't even know if a man's intimidated. I could be just genuinely turned off by you by the way that you're talking and you're carrying yourself. And that could be a blow to her ego, that there is a certain sect of men that because she doesn't want to put in the work to change, or she doesn't see that's anything wrong with her, that if a man she shoots her shot or she wants doesn't want her back, then all of a sudden he's a bitch ass nigga that is intimidated by her. First of all, and she can't determine that. There's a lot of women that aren't good with handling rejection, and there's a lot of men that aren't good with handling rejection either. But I think women are more inclined to not handle rejection because they're not used to being pursued, like being the pursuer, going up to a man and saying, hey, look, you a fine ass motherfucker, what we gonna do? Like, women don't do that, so the tolerance is super, super low. So for her to use shaming tactics for men that probably genuinely don't want her, she has to shame them to protect their ego, is all kinds of fucked up. Number two, to take and say, oh, well, this is, for the niggas that want it, if you don't want to step to the side, First of all, only a certain type of dude is going to be attracted to that shit, okay? A man who is doing a 9-to-5 and wants stability and quiet is going to look at that and be like, I got to go to the other side. Something that'll be attracted to that. She said something so ignorant, like cooking dope in the 80s. Like, what kind of people are doing that? In the hood, drug dealers.
What kind of wife is doing
that? In the hood, drug dealers. She literally has
advocated for a specific type of chick.
And said that that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That means that only a certain type of guy is going to be attracted to that. What's her type? I think we know. Street dudes. Yeah. Street dudes that are in the street, selling drugs, doing crime, have no future for tomorrow, are just living in the day, going to the clubs, spending all their money on a bottle of Don Julio Reposado and trying to get all the attention of all the girls and leaving the club in a scat pack. Like, that's her type. Let's be real about it,
It's true.
No stable man is...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
King got me so tickled, y'all. No, I was about to say, you can even, like, to pick up what you said, like, you can be a street nigga, but not in the streets and still want a refined woman. Like,
sure, you can.
You know what I'm saying?
But we talk about she wants activity. She's talking about drugs. Like, she wants to live on the edge. Raw. She wants somebody to come, and when she talks, they slap the shit out of her. And when she wants domestic abuse because she thinks that that's a man. Only a hyper masculine, toxic man that thinks that being a man is putting his hands on a woman when she's being so loud. That's the only thing that can function with that.
And that's what I just said. Community. Yeah.
That community. Mm-hmm. So for her to shame men because men don't want a alpha woman or whatever. You're not alpha. You're just obnoxious. You're ghetto. You're rude. Yeah. And you're justifying and hiding these things by calling yourself an alpha woman. I genuinely think that a person like that is the bane of like the community. Like, why are you shaming men? Like, first of all, we're not a man that genuinely doesn't like that stuff doesn't mean that he's a bitch ass nigga, number one. Mm-hmm. It just means that he likes femininity. Mm-hmm. Now, the submissive comment, okay? Yes, there are some men that don't understand that submission is not given automatically. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a difference between being soft and kind and warm and welcoming and being submissive. Just because you smile at a man and you're soft and you're kind doesn't mean that you're submitting to him. It just means that you're being feminine, you're being friendly, you're being warm. Any man, I don't care if that man is not even physically attracted to you, they're going to appreciate that. They're going to see how graceful and enjoyable you are. They might just want to be in your space and just say, have a blessed day, queen. Have a blessed day, lady. Mm-hmm. Cool. But that is a difference from submitting. Now, if you want a man or a woman, a man wants a woman to submit to him, then first of all, that woman has to be romantically interested in him, number one. And number two, to piggyback off what you said, there needs to be a sense of safety. There needs to be a sense where when that woman feels safe and secure, and when I mean safe is, nah, motherfucker, like, just because you heard a sound in the bushes, you're going to pull out the Nina and point it in that direction. That's not the only kind of safety that there is. There's an emotional safety that no matter what happens, no matter what she does, she knows that she can come to you, and she also knows that you're not going to judge her. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that comes with emotional vulnerability. And I don't think she understands that either. I just think that she's a lost woman who is a product of a very toxic and hurt environment. And the only reason that she's out there is because some dude that she wanted curved the fuck out of her, and she's hurt or she was done wrong. But a lot of guys that she say talk about men, she doesn't want 90% of men. She wants a 10% that come from her environment. Right. And that's who she's talking to.
And you said that he's like, I don't think she's an alpha woman. She is an alpha woman in her community. Okay. In her space. She's the loudest, she's the toughest. She don't take no shit. She's the most aggressive, and she got to be like that in that environment. And some girls back down to that. Like, you see that when you look at prides in the animal land.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, you got to outgrow that. You got to become an adult. You got to, if you can leave your environment, you leave your environment for better. But that to me is disgusting. And I really sympathize with, because she's hurt. Like, that's just hurt. That's just loss. Like, that's somebody that needs guidance, that needs wisdom, that needs somebody to fucking hug her and tell her it's okay, and it's gonna be okay. Right. But again, only another hurt individual like her can be with her. But it's sad because that attitude may spread like wildfire with people that have been hurt too. And they're going to take it out on a lot of innocent people. And some guys, like you said, do take it personal, because not all men have a strong sense of self. Right. We all vary. We're all human beings. We all come in different shapes, flavors, and emotional development. So for you to spread hurt and say, yeah, you a weak man if you don't want me, man, that's shaming. And that's terrible. I don't agree with that.
So I want to.
I said a lot. Thank you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I need you to give your take on it, right? So I want to put something in perspective here, because I feel like it's very important, right? So it's three things. One of them is, I think the term submissive or submission has been misunderstood for ages. And I really want to put that in perspective, because it seemed like submission was according to what their understanding is, the society we live in, it goes one way. Absolutely false. Right. I'm going to give you guys a definition that I put, and I identify with this 1000%, right? So look up the word submission. Submission, the definition actually, the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or the will or authority of another person. So I don't know who came up with the concept that the guys want just the woman to submit, absent the understanding that we have to submit to you too. I have to submit to her the same way she submits to me. That's how this thing works. I also looked up something last night, and it blew my mind. When God created man and woman, it was his intent for us to be equal. We as a people completely blew the entire meaning of the term submission. Right. Now we're in our community bumping heads like this because the female feel like the guy trying to make her submit, and she feel like you're trying to control me, and it's misunderstood. When the actual act of it was, I have to submit to you too, love. You know what I mean? I belong to you, and I need you to know that I'm vulnerable enough to show that. So I don't really understand. Like, to me, when I heard the video, I immediately felt like this chick got hurt. This is a personal issue, right? So I'm not offended because I'm a solid man in myself, right? I am also the type of man that I wouldn't tolerate that type of language with respect because I wouldn't talk to you that way.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all of the like you said. It's kind of like a bull. They're bumping horns.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants this whole thing. Like, no, it's my way. It's my way.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, like you said, it boils down to being equally yoked. We are a team. We are two. Like
two.
God created man and woman for a reason. But I think it's always a debacle because people feel like, oh, you have to be this way. You have to submit to me in this way. Or like, just like the whole argument and debate with like, well, if he don't pay for your nails, hair, and he a broke nigga. Or if she don't, if she's had casual sex, she's a hoe. And it's like, tomato. At the end of the day, it boils down to what works. Like let's how can we collectively find what works for
you and
for you and that person?
Okay,
right.
I could agree because every relationship is uniquely different. So I could agree. I would want to say even in our differences, we still abide by a base set of rules,
right?
That would encourage a healthy relationship as well. But it's been taken out of text so many times. And then when you couple that with the disrespect and the things like that, because even though I'm not this type of guy, I've been called alpha, right? I don't really praise myself on the term. It's just,
right.
I feel like it's like a platform that's over exaggerated, right?
It's all about titles.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
A title thing.
So my thing is, I don't have to wave a flag that says I'm stand up. You could look at me, you could tell, all right, this nigga's solid. I showed my proof by my action. I laid out my foundation. My kingdom is here. Yeah. My kids is taken care of. I'm already saying I'm kinging without saying I'm kinging. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
My lady could never say she felt, unprotected around me. It never would happen. So when I hear females talk, like I almost take it personal, but I'll be like, I gotta let her make it because she really talking to a specific kind of guy, and I gotta let her express because behind this expression is a lot of pain to me, right? But for a lot of us, and I could speak for a lot of guys, generally, bitch ass nigga is not the term you want to align a lot of. Yeah, that might get you.
Not letting that one go.
No,
seriously,
because I've been around too much solid guy. Then I've been in jail a couple times. This will get you lined up quick, like really lined up. You know what I mean? So it's like we don't want to advocate for that. So I'm not saying this is any time to show any form of unnecessary aggression. I'm just saying I wouldn't speak to you this way.
That's the thing about that term. Just to hit on 2 points with what you just shared, Hash, with the aspect of that's the idea of consequence. Number one. A lot of women feel comfortable talking out of turn to men because there isn't an invisible lining of consequence. Like between us men, right? We understand that if we walk up to a guy and we call him a bitch ass nigga, there's an underlying understanding that can turn into violence.
Immediately too, yeah.
Between women, between a man and a woman, that doesn't really exist. Like there's been so many times where women feel comfortable putting their hands on a guy on the street and the guy's supposed to, like, they just stand there and just take it. But you don't hit a woman because she's a woman. She's weaker than you. So they feel like from a societal value perspective, there's a invisible protection that surrounds her. So she feels comfortable disrespecting a guy. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy about you saying that? Because I'm so against women putting their hands on men. Is if a man was to put their hands on a woman, what is he gonna be? A bitch ass nigga still?
That's another one. And if you put your hands on her, that's a woman. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Y'all do be at
a good example for me. We spoke about this earlier. I brought this up when I believe Ash was chopping my hair down. Sha'Carri Richardson, right? So Sha'Carri got caught putting her hands on a dude, right? First thing a lot of women said online when that happened was, well, what did he do to bring that out of her? That's insane. Because if it was the other way around, they wouldn't say, well, what did she do?
Yeah.
If a man said, well, what did she do? That man would be castrated online and exposed and canceled. You know what I'm saying? So that shows how double standards exist in society. Number two. The aspect of man and woman. That's what I believe. You a man or you a woman. You're born a female and you're born a male. For a female, the woman is the title. The female is the gender. You're not given a woman. A woman and manhood, womanhood and manhood come when you live your values. Every single day you make certain choices that make you stand on such things by having values, by having principles, by living your life a certain way that puts you in a stratosphere, in a realm, and you wear the title like a badge of honor that you're a man or you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? We got to get away from this alpha. Man, be a man, okay? Get alpha. Be a woman. How about we get back to that? How about we shine that femininity, that womanhood? How the strength that comes in womanhood, the strength that it takes to support a man, because being a man ain't easy.
Well,
you know?
honestly, Ken, but Erica, I want to see if you had anything you want to.
No, go right ahead.
Okay, so I've also come to understand that there's a community of women that don't necessarily want to be wives. They're comfortable living, independently. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm a little bit more optimistic when it comes to, okay, I could understand this is the fate that you chose, right? And I still can respect them. I have no problem with that. I heard a post. I listened to a post by a guy that it blew my mind when I heard it, because it was true. He was saying that all of us aren't meant to be wives and husbands. It was hard for me to listen to, because I came from an era of, especially, I think it had to do with my spirituality, that it was a goal to obtain a wife or have a wife, have kids, be a husband. Like, that was something that to achieve for me, and I thought that was the goal, right? When he said it, and I coupled my experience in a relationship and how devastating it was to me, because I looked at it from a more serious, point of view. Like, I took it serious. Even my relationship, I'm with you. I don't know how to do I'm with you, but I'm playing around. I don't know how to do that. Now, a lot of guys may not identify, they might consider that a weak nigga. It's weird. Like, in some females too. Like,
There's some shame in between that. But no, that's true. I think that, like what he said, as far as some people that aren't meant to be husbands, and some I mean, this is true, because it's like, if you have a kid in school, certain kids they excel at certain subjects. If you were a kid that struggled in math when you were growing up and you still struggled in college, you might not want to be an engineer, because that's even more math, and you're not going to fit that role perfectly. But if you do something else to where you flourish in a subject when you were growing up, then that's more better fitted for you. Meaning, relationships in marriage take certain sacrifices and certain skill sets that you have to understand and implement
prior to getting into it.
Yeah. Not everybody is built for
possess,
such roles and tasks. So they're not equipped for the job. I met a couple a while back that were married for 15 years, and they would look so happy. They were in love as if it was the first day that they met each other, celebrating their anniversary. And I had the pleasure to speak with them, and I asked them, for somebody young like me, what is a piece of advice that you can give me so that, I could pass on and maybe I can use in my personal life about marriage? And their answer was the following. You have to understand that marriage, first of all, is not about love, because there's going to be moments that you're going to fall out of love. We're human. There's highs and there's lows and there's mids. And some days you're going to wake up and you're not even going to want to be next to the person that you said forever to. But what keeps you together is the commitment that you make. And behind that commitment, sure enough, the cloudy day becomes the sunny day again. So that one day that we didn't feel that spark all the way and the battery was at 20%, guess what? It's going to be 95%. But we made a commitment to each other. So no matter what the feelings, no matter what the weather's like, we're always going to show up in the middle. We're always going to show up to work. We're always going to clock in. And some people, they don't have that.
Right. And to justify the statement, there's 4 seasons in a relationship. Every relationship has 4 seasons, just like we have 4 seasons during a year, right? And what we do in the 4 seasons,
We adapt.
we adapt to the weather. If it's hot, we wear short clothes. We expose the skin. If it's cold, we put on jackets.
Right.
It's the same thing you have to do in a relationship. It's cool. I think if we understand that every day would not be the same, you'll have a long-lasting relationship because in that same element, both of you are allowed to be yourself. You're a human being.
Right.
Nobody wakes up on the same page every day.
Exactly.
So the perception that it's like we're
Peaches
supposed,
and cream.
yeah, it's supposed to just be this way every day.
Unless you're dating a clone or
You know what
something.
I'm
You
saying?
know?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like falsified expectations. Like I think people lose touch of reality. Like we're gonna bump heads. Like, and that's even outside of relationships. It's just like even with friendships. Like we can have ride or dies and the best homeboy, but there are moments where that nigga might get on my nerves,
Of
or my
course.
homegirl might
Of course.
say something that rubs me the wrong way. But it's like that saying, forgive again. Forgive. He forgave us 77 times. Forgive
It's
him
true.
7 times, 77 times
true.
again. So I think that people lose sight of the priority when it comes to being into, if we're speaking on relationship terms. But like Ken said, I don't think, whatchamacallit. Ooh, I hate when I do that. I just lost my train of thought.
You gotta take
I
your
hate
bucket.
that too.
You gotta take your bucket hat off.
I know.
No, that's all
My
good.
thoughts are
No.
brewing up here.
That was good
Yeah,
stuff.
it'll come back.
So I'm a follow up with what Melissa said, but I don't think people they understand. Okay, boom. Like you said, it's about the commitment. It's not necessarily about okay. This is just about to be a perfect experience, absent problems. Y'all gonna bump heads, but we also talked about something that people forget in our prior conversation, and that is when you guys go through hard time, that creates a hellified bond between y'all. Like people forget that part.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna go through hell. I done been in a relationship where I've been cut. I'm talking about almost lost this whole finger right here. And it's not the type of thing that I would wish happened for no guy.
She cut you?
Yes.
Oh man.
It's
Whoa,
like,
I thought you were in a work accident.
Yeah,
And
no.
the girl was like, oh, I'm about to be
He got
unable to
cool.
work, and you afraid she goes, she cut you?
No, son.
Oh, wow.
I was cut. And if I'm not gonna put her out there because this nothing about this was funny, right?
Right.
I forgave her a long time
Damn.
ago, right? The reason for being cut was even more insane. You know, it was along the lines of she was an at-home mom, and she thought I was a truck driver at the time, and for some reason she thought that because she was a new mom, that she would get more benefits and taxes than I would, being a full-time working commercial driver, right? Insane, but it's cool, right? But my thing is, I forgave her. She was young. She was very. No, let me. I gotta tell my story because I don't want to forget what I'm saying, right? And she was young at the time, so I had to forgive her. Right now, I was always mature, right? But at that point, that was a traumatizing experience for me because I didn't know that an argument could result in me being fatally wounded for absolutely nothing serious, right? So I was in a state of shock. My point here is like because I understood her, it was the reason why I was able to even further get past that. This is something that some people do not forgive. This is a grounds for exiting this relationship and never turning back. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying this is how far these relationships can go. And I brought that story up to say when this thing went to court, after I was fatally wounded, I went through hospital, surgery, and all type of stuff. She went, I believe she told the officers that it was her fault. Because a charge led up after this. Like, it was a serious charge, right? Long story short, I caught her having sex with a dude and went to jail that night. She's the same person that went down to the county and told the people, she said, you know what? It was my fault. right? And the charges was dropped tremendously. Like I'm talking about, went from aggressive, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon to misdemeanor,
Right.
domestic family violence, right?
Mhm.
My point here is there are some extremes that take place in relationships, right? God only gives you what you can tolerate, right? To some people's ears, this will sound completely insane. Hash, what is you doing? How is you in a relationship? But for some reason, I understood this girl, and I was like, you know what? She's young. I can definitely give her respect for coming down. I'm talking about looking like a truck hitter to the county and telling them people, hey, look, this was my fault. And they respected it. Because the court looks at this like a crime of passion.
For sure.
These type of things, right? But basically, and me and her is on good terms to this day. It's complete respect, it's love. She has her own situation, you know what I mean? And we could still communicate mutually because of our child, right? No, I don't have anything against her. I wish her the best, and so it's good. What I'm saying is sometimes relationships can be that extreme, right? But the bond that come behind that sometimes, if it's meant to be, it's going. You almost forget that you almost died. Yeah, and this is extreme, right? But I'm just trying to draw a reference.
They say trauma bonds are stronger than hell.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
So even if you were to go through hell with your significant other, it's okay. Now, I'm not advocating for domestic violence. I'm saying if you guys have a different and y'all bump head, you don't love the nigga this week, it's cool. You know what I mean? But at least understand that, you know what? I'm here for a bigger cause. I love this person, generally speaking. And this is just a time that we're going through. And it's okay. What I would suggest in these times, I'll give her a space. I give her a space. If she, whether that be, she probably, because really, a lot of times when you give space to your significant other, you don't necessarily have to leave the house. You know what I mean? Like, it don't have to be extreme.
Right.
You come downstairs, spend some time downstairs, allow her to have a piece for herself. A lot of times, she going to calculate and be like, you know what? It's going to die down. Couple hours, whatever it take, y'all going to come back together. That reunion is insane, too. That makeup sex and all that is fire.
Right.
I ain't
like all of that built up stress and that anger. Let's just release.
She shook her shoulder because that's how the shit feels. You know what I'm saying? But generally speaking, I think the young lady here was talking to a particular type of guy, and she wasn't talking to an alpha male, in my opinion. Even though I'm not waving the flag for the term, but I'm just saying the guy that she wants to show up and who she's referring to is two different people there. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, to take this to the next level, I have a few questions that I just want to propose to you guys, and we could kind of like just answer them accordingly. But Ken, you was about to say so. I didn't want to forget my story.
No. You answered the question. I was going to ask like, what made you stay? Because me personally, number one. I mean, y'all already know.
Put your hands
y'all
on
already know.
You're done.
Stand for the choir. First of all, if a woman, I believe that in order to understand or like succeed in a relationship, you have to give the person the manual, right? And the rules, right? Of how to best handle you and move with you and what you're okay with, what you're not okay with. I don't think that just because a person, if you don't give the people a way to succeed, the path to succeed, then you can't really like hold them accountable because you never explain to them what you like and what you don't like, what you tolerate and don't tolerate. So, for example, if somebody called me out of my name and I'm supposedly dating them or we're in a tight relationship, I'm going to say it one time, right? Because I don't deal with stupid. And I know that I'm talking to an adult. And if something matters to this person, they're going to take it to heart. So I'm going to say it one time. We don't do that here. Next time you do that, ain't going to be no more us, right?
Yeah. And you got to stand on it.
And stand on it. Because once it comes out of here, you have to make sure that you follow through with it. Why would I do that? Because there's one glue that I think holds everything together: professional, friendship, relationship, between your parents, between yourself even. And that term is RESPECT, respect. And if you don't have respect in a relationship, in my opinion, if a woman feels comfortable calling you out of your name, if a woman feels comfortable even putting her hands on you, she doesn't respect you, she can't follow you, she can't submit to you, let that shit go as quickly as possible, because now you're living with the enemy, okay? Somebody that's gonna try to destroy you and put obstacles in your path and not help you build towards your goal in the future as a man. That's why I asked you, what made you stay?
So in my defense, I was younger, right? It's my first time experiencing being in this type of relationship, and I had a beautiful son at the time with this girl, right? Something I valued at the time. I don't care, and it's weird. Like me, I have a connection with chicks from the hood. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Like that spice.
No, not that I like it, but like
They just gravitate towards
it's a deep kind of love that because really they really love you, but I understand them. Plus, I'm from there, so it's like I get where all this aggression from. Your dad also wasn't there. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I just want to apologize. Due to some technical difficulties, we were not able to secure the remainder of this conversation, but in conclusion, it was a major success because we were able to get a more balanced understanding, having Melissa and Erica on this episode to give a female's perspective on the term, right? So, once again, I apologize. We are trying our best to, work with what we have, which is kind of limited right now, but I'm still excited because through every era is a lesson, right? And we're going to keep going, we're going to keep going. We are going to keep learning. We are going to master the art of recording, you know what I'm saying? And putting together content that you guys would appreciate. But once again, I just want to say thank you for tapping in to the Potent Perspective and sitting in these amazing conversations with us, and being able to get some perspective as well as give some, you know what I mean? I am your host, Hash Potent, and we're gonna continue to continue working. We're gonna continue to put out good stuff as much as we can, and until we see you guys again, you know what I mean? Keep it P. I appreciate y'all. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I speak on behalf of the lost, on behalf of the low nigga trying to get a Porsche.